Greetings, 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 everyone.
Greetings, I'm a bobblehead tonight.
Yeah, that's exactly what you look like. I'm Right.
I'm Right.
And I'm Jill Cox Cordova.
I'm Anthony Cordova.
And we want to welcome everyone who's here. Let me see who's
here.
Who
do we have in the audience,
Let's
Jill?
see. We've got me.
We've
got you.
Yeah.
We've got Lori. Lori was in your show last night.
Hello, Lori. Welcome back, or welcome to this show.
We've got, completely different
Something completely different.
We've got Lucy.
Hi, Lucy. I love the name Lucy.
I do too. We've got Stacy.
Hi, Stacy. Is this our Stacy?
Yes,
that is. I can see your emoji there.
We've got Clayton.
Clayton.
And we've got either Suzanne
Welcome,
or Suzanne. I'm not sure which way that one's pronounced.
Suzanne.
Because I know a Suzanne and a Suzanne, so it could be either.
Suzanne. Yes, I love that name too.
Well, welcome everybody.
Yes. Welcome.
I'm seeing some new people tonight, so I think that we should let you know that this is a show about relationships. And we mostly do have comical conversations about different aspects of relationships, but sometimes we can be pretty serious sometimes.
Yeah, we try to keep it pretty light. Make everybody smile and happy. Good energy.
Good energy. That's what we
Not
always
negative energy.
Strive
Good
for.
energy to lift everyone up.
See how he's different? If you were here last night.
And I am the same person. I am not schizophrenic. I am the same person.
Yes, you just have many different.
Yes. Different what? Well, I'm saying yes. Different what?
There are many different layers to you. You're very multidimensional.
Thank you.
I'll take
that.
That is a compliment in a good way.
I will.
There's nothing boring about you at all. Even though you call yourself boring all the time. So, anyway.
Maybe.
Often this show lasts an hour, but tonight it's only going to be 30 minutes because there's some things we have to do. So, if you plan to speak tonight, do it early. Do it early because we really are going to make this a half-hour show.
And that's because Jill keeps giving me more work to do, more tasks, more projects.
But you like it.
No,
you love it.
No.
That's it. You love it. You love it. I don't normally give you a honey-do list. One day we'll have to do an episode about honey-do lists because I do not do that.
You know what? I just realized that you don't do the typical honey-do list. I
don't do it at all.
I always would tell people, "Oh no, Jill doesn't do a honey-do list. I know what to do around the house. I know what to do.
I don't give
handle
you any
all
of that.
that.
I could care less about any of that."
I just realized her honey-do list is not the typical honey-do list.
Save that for an episode. This is not that episode.
It's not typical.
But I don't. It's because it's not a honey-do list.
It usually involves writing.
Well, yeah,
writing something
you're a
or some type of production.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah. You keep coming up with more ideas.
We're a team.
That's why we have 4 shows, 4 different shows on Fireside.
I just want people to know and understand your talents, your many talents. You have many talents. I also want to welcome Kathleen to the show. Welcome, Kathleen.
Hello.
It's nice to see you.
Hello. Is this Kathleen? Is this Fireside Kathleen?
Yes.
That now I have refreshed my memory and I know exactly who you are,
See,
Kathleen.
I told you that last night.
Yes. You are correct. But we got there's a lot of Kathleen, so I wasn't sure which one.
But this one is special.
Now that the font is so small on the app, even with my glasses,
you just can't see.
I'm about maybe 3 feet away from the phone right now, and I can't see everything with glasses.
But I can.
Yeah.
I'm your eyes.
Yeah, well, and you have a phone in your
So it's a good thing
hand,
you trust
and
me,
you
right?
have a phone in your
I do
hand
have it
over
closer
there,
to me.
being the producer here. So,
Yes,
so
yes,
cool. So, welcome everyone. We're so happy
yes,
you're here.
we are. So
Yeah.
let's get right to it because our show is short tonight. So we need to get right into our episode. And tonight's
Yeah.
episode is about people who are afraid to show kindness to others. What do you think of that?
I have a lot of thoughts on
I'm
that.
sure you do.
And do you want me to start?
Yes.
Well, first of all, I live in Georgia now. We live in Georgia,
I was going to
and
say, we live
I've
in the same
lived
house.
I've lived in Georgia since 1981, and I
I
moved
have
here
not lived in Georgia that
when I
long.
was 22 years old. So I'm an old coot, old coot. But anyway, I understand this because I grew up in New York.
Yeah.
And
Some
people,
of some of you New Yorkers don't like anyone, and if
that's
someone
that's right.
even looks at you, you're like, "What are you looking at?"
That is very true. So, because of the high, partly because of the high crime rate, and somebody was always trying to do something to you, to scam you, to steal from you, to cause you some physical harm. So this was a normal day of life, in New York. So,
So if
so a
someone
lot
wanted
of
to do
people.
something nice for you were probably
Yeah,
suspicious.
like, yeah, what you trying to do? And it can even cause a fight if someone just out of the blue, just someone you don't know, just does something kind for you. The only time the New Yorkers let their guard down, and this is sad to say, during some natural disaster. So if
Well, at
there's
least they came together then.
yes, but other things like weather, like if there's a blizzard, New Yorkers come together. Bad weather stuff brings New Yorkers together. And I'm going to say this, and a lot of people are going to think this is not true, but New Yorkers are really kind people.
Some of them. Some of them. You cannot generalize
No, no,
that
no. Yeah,
statement.
yeah, no. Yes, I can. Once you get to know them,
I
once
still say some of
once
them.
you get to know
I still
them,
say some
or
of
they
them.
get to know you, then they can be very kind and helpful. But for the most part, New Yorkers walk around with their guard up, and they have to just stay
Well, I was going to
safe.
say for good reason.
Yeah, to stay safe.
Whereas I grew up in a national park,
Mm-hmm.
and if tourists took a wrong turn, they found where my neighborhood was. So from the
Mm-hmm.
time I was quite young, I learned to talk to, total strangers and to be kind to strangers,
Ah.
and so I can see why people, well, I'm from Kentucky too. So the South,
Mm-hmm.
people are, often trying to help you. To not generalize though, that's not all Southerners, of course. That is not all Southerners. And it wasn't everyone in the park either, like,
Mm-hmm.
the people are individuals, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So, but I was going to talk about my stance on this topic from a
Yeah.
relationship point of view. So
Ah.
sometimes
Okay.
I think I'm a kind person, and
Mm-hmm.
I will often do nice things for people. But sometimes people take that the wrong way because people thought I was that was a form of flirting, that, "Oh, if you're
Oh.
doing something nice for me, you must really like me." No, I'm just a
Ah.
nice person, and I would do that for anybody.
Mhm,
That
mhm.
same thing. So sometimes, but I've been on the receiving end where the nice things kept going and going and going, and the
Mhm.
person was trying to show me that they like me. So I've been on
Ah,
the other
okay,
end of it too.
okay.
So sometimes, what do you think about? Do you think that you can take kindness, acts of kindness too far?
Um, that's a good question. Uh, Maybe, and I have to answer with maybe, and the reason I do believe we should do real acts of kindness, and I am that type of person. If I see someone broke down, I'm liable to pull over and see if I can help them, if
I'm
or
gonna think
something
like a
like
New
that.
Yorker, but what if it's a trap? What if they want you to pull over and they're gonna do
and it
something
and
to
it
you?
can and it can and it can be so, depending on where I am and what the situation looks like. Um, so unfortunately, the way I grew up, I'm probably a little paranoid because I'm always looking for uh, the scam for somebody to try to take
And people
advantage of
often
me.
are
So
are trying to
so
scam you.
so but no, I am the type of person that will go out of my way to help a stranger. And I've told this story
And you
on
did that when you were in New York?
yes, I even did that when I was in New York. I did it then. And my father would do it, and once I got old enough, I would do it. It's just the type of person I am. Um, but I was just getting ready. Oh yeah, like for instance, I was at an outlet mall, and I've told this story on the show before. But I was, or maybe on the old podcast. But I was at an outlet mall, and there was a family. They were all women. There was about four of them, and one woman was a little overweight and in a wheelchair, and I guess she couldn't walk. She could not walk. Um, and they were pushing her up one of the curbs, where there was a ramp there, but it was just, a little curb with a ramp. And they got stuck on the bump, and the woman in the wheelchair fell out
Oh no.
of the wheelchair, and she is on the ground.
My
And
goodness.
her family that was with her tried to pick her up, but they weren't strong enough to pick her up and get her back in the wheelchair. And when I saw the woman fall, I was probably, I don't know, 30 feet away walking towards her. So there were many people in front of me. Everyone, there must have been 10 different people that just walked past her on the ground like she did not exist.
So why do you think people I'm sure they all saw her. Why do you think they kept walking?
Could be several reasons.
Such as?
I'd rather not say.
Okay. Well, let's
I'd
take
rather
another
not say,
example with
but once I got to her, I helped her up, okay, and got her back in the wheelchair. So, a situation like that. Let's say the reason people didn't um, help her is because they were afraid.
of what?
I'd rather not say.
Why do you keep bringing stuff up? Okay, so let me give
Because
you
it gets
another.
into a whole different show.
Well, let me
That's
well let me
why.
get you. Let me
But they
bring up
had
another
no
example.
reason to be afraid of this woman.
Let me bring up another example that
Okay.
happens often around the world.
Okay.
Say you're in a store, so a public place, and you hear yelling and screaming, someone screaming. So you actually go toward the sound. Some people will not. But if you do go toward the sound, you find the aisle where the woman is screaming because someone that she's with, her partner, whether married or not, is abusing her. So a lot of people in that scenario, or they're horrified by it,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't necessarily want to get involved because the person could turn on them. They could get hurt.
That
What do
is
you think
true.
of that situation? So what do you do? Do you go to a different aisle and call 911? What do you do?
Well, I think you do what you can. So if you're not the type of person to physically intervene, then you do just that. You get on your phone, you make a call, you find the store manager, you do something to help alleviate this situation. Um, and then even putting yourself in the middle of a situation physically can be
It can
dangerous.
become worse. I remember I won't name the place, but many people in the audience know that, and really Charlie's here. Hi,
Hey, really,
Charlie.
Charlie.
Um, I
It's,
at one network, TV network that I used to work at,
hmm
there were in one part of the newsroom, you could see out into the walk space beside it, and there was a connecting hotel to it.
Okay.
So people from the hotel could walk
Right.
back by you. And one of my former colleagues was sitting at his desk doing his work, facing that area, and he sees a man dragging a woman by her ponytail, but he also saw the gun.
hmm
And so, and he believes the person saw him, the suspect.
hmm
But in order for her to have even gotten to that point, many people had to have seen her.
hmm
But we now believe that he was one of the first people to call 911
Okay.
when they passed. He waited till they passed him so
hmm
that you don't see him on a phone as soon as he sees
Right.
them. But I think the witness still has PTSD from that
Really.
because he still sees. I mean, he still sees her and
hmm
how the only thing he could do was wait till they passed him, and he was afraid that
Yeah.
she'd get shot or whatever. And I can't remember if he did shoot her. I don't think he shot her there anyway.
Yeah, I remember that story.
And it was really brazen of the suspect anyway, because there was a police precinct
Yeah,
right
it
in the
was
building.
very public
So they were able
place.
to yeah, and this was broad daylight, and because of his call, they were able to get to her quickly.
hmm
But it became a thing because if you're police arriving on the scene in a very public place, crowded place,
hmm
you have to be careful how you handle that too.
Exactly. Exactly. So,
So there's times where I fully understand why people are afraid to get involved.
yeah, 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 definitely, definitely. Like I was saying, I go out of my way to help people quite often. Uh, but then sometimes when it's a person it seems a stranger doesn't do this to you, but a person, well, I guess it would have to be a person because once you just do something for them out of the kindness of your heart, just,
I
I'll
think I
just
know where
help
you're
you.
going with
I'll just
this,
help you out.
right?
And
Then
the
it becomes
next,
an
it
expectation.
becomes yes, an expectation. Always do this for me, do this for me, do this for me, do this for me. And now here's the problem: never anything in return. They never will do anything for you. They just
But
ask,
do
can you
you
do
do
this?
acts of kindness to get to have it reciprocated?
No, but if you're supposed to be friends or have a relationship, these
Friends
things,
are a two-way relationship,
yes,
yes.
it's a two-way relationship. So, it's a give and take. We help
Right.
each other. And nobody's counting. But what I'm saying is that there's some people, all they do is ask you to do stuff, want you to do stuff for them, but they never just do something kind for you.
And often that kind of person you're describing, often they they feel that's how it should be. That for whatever reason you owe them something,
hmm
that they're
hmm
entitled to your for you to be there for them always. Charlie brings up a great point. He says sometimes if you get involved verbally or physically, you will get tag teamed sometimes.
Well,
that does.
yes,
And it says, but
I've
all in all,
seen it
just dial
happen.
911.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
I've definitely seen it happen. Definitely get tag team.
Yep.
Mind your own business. And sometimes they will physically. Now this is usually in a relationship type of thing, like a husband and wife, girlfriend and boyfriend fighting in the street. And if you intervene, sometimes they gang up on you. Mind your own business.
Yes.
And
But it doesn't have to be. You described heterosexual relationships. It doesn't have to be
no, it
that.
doesn't have to be heterosexual. No, not at all. Of course not. Just people in general. You never know. You never know. But
Right. Right. So I do understand sometimes when people want to keep their
mhm,
keep their distance.
yeah.
I remember one time when I was in college, I was hanging with a different person than my normal circle of friends.
hmm
And I was just like this all night because I didn't realize how the least little thing could make the person go from 0 to 1,000,
Oh.
off on somebody.
hmm
Now, I was afraid that someone was going to, respond with violence because she was, in people's faces with the
hmm
finger, and just in their face.
Yeah.
But thankfully, they just walked away, which made her madder. Like, don't you walk away from me, kind of thing. But I couldn't wait to get home or back to campus because I just couldn't believe that
hmm
that was the same person. I'd never seen that side of her.
hmm
And needless to say, I never socialized with her again.
Okay.
Because I didn't know what
That's
kind
good.
of trouble
I don't want that kind
she
of
would
drama.
exactly.
I
It's
don't
like,
want the kind of drama.
which
No.
is funny because some of the people that have been around me or have tried to be my friend, they don't. I guess they don't understand. I don't do drama.
Yeah.
I don't. You
Yeah.
can try to
Well,
bring me into it,
but nah, not gonna happen.
not gonna
Not
happen.
gonna happen. Another situation I had, and this did not change how I interact with people, but I was at a bank and there was a car just like right in the middle of the parking lot with the hood open, and there were these teenagers. And so I went up to them and I said, "Hey, you guys all right? You need a jump?" Well, we don't know. Car won't start. I said, "All right, well, let me give you a jump." So I got my car, I got my jumper cables, and I put the jumper cables on, did all of that. And I say, "Okay, go ahead, try it now." And the car started right up. So I took my jumper cables off and I'm holding them like this. They close the hood and take off. Nobody said thank you. Nobody said we appreciate it. They took off. I was standing in the middle of the parking lot with jumper cables like this, looking like a fool. Okay. However, that bad experience did not change how I view people. I will still help someone if they look like they need a jump, um, so on and so forth. Yeah,
That's good.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well,
Oh, wait, I'm gonna tell this one quick story.
it's gotta be quick.
It's quick
It's a
because it
quick show
involves
tonight.
it involves jumper cables again. Now,
Riveting.
I went. Yes, I was fishing at the river. I was fishing at the river, and there were
That sounds like
these.
a Terrence Trent D'Arby
There
song.
was I was fishing at the river, and there were these women also fishing at the river, but they had their fishing poles spread out all along the bank, like everywhere, and they weren't even next to their fishing poles. So, I yell out to one of them, "Hey, do you mind if I fish here?" They said, you can do whatever you want as long as you don't F with my fishing pole. So I was like, oh, okay, it's like that. I went fish somewhere else, right?
Oh,
Down the bank, right? So I'm leaving. I've fished. I'm getting ready to leave, and I was driving my van, and they were ready to leave too. And they walk up to me, excuse me, the same woman that cussed at me not to mess with her pole, the same woman said, excuse me, do you have any jumper cables? Nope.
You said no.
I said no,
Tony,
right? I said
Tony,
no.
you could have helped her out.
I said no. What goes around comes around. And I said no. But check this out. So they were still at the car with the hood open. I'm putting my fish gear in the back of my van, and I'm in front of them. I'm parked in front of them, right? My jumper cables fell out on the ground.
And then did you go and help?
No, I picked my jumper cables up
They
and
saw
I
the jumper
left.
cables and you still left?
Yes, because it is so unnecessary for people to be so ugly.
But sweetheart,
I was kind to them. I was like, excuse me.
But sweetheart.
Yes.
Last night during your Soul Reader show, you said we aren't supposed to fight negativity with negativity.
Yeah, but see, that was like 30 years ago. I have grown since then.
Okay.
So if that situation,
I guess you have redeemed yourself.
If the situation happened today, I probably would have had jumped their car, but had a deeper discussion with the woman that cussed me out about her.
What do you mean deeper? Pole. Like, see if you're just nice to people.
No,
what they'll do.
A much more enlightened conversation is what I would have with the woman.
But maybe that's just how she talks. There's some people.
What do I say about perception?
You say it matters because people will always
yes.
perceive you. Like people, for some reason, still think I'm bougie, but I'm not. And if I am, there's someone in our family that's more bougie than I am. It's true. It's true.
We'll see about that.
It is true. We've already seen it.
Hey, really, Charlie, you came in later in the into the show, but Jill announced that tonight was going to be a 30-minute show.
So we've got about 3 minutes left. So does anyone want to speak? Now, since you brought that up, does anyone want to come to the stage and offer their opinion on acts of kindness and whether you've been afraid and whether you've done what Tony says he did 30 years ago?
Yeah, it was 30 years ago. Yeah.
Anyone want to talk? Come on.
This would be the time.
2 minutes left in the show.
Yeah, otherwise you'll have to wait till next week, next Wednesday at 8:00. Yes. But yeah, but that's about it. Yeah. So
nobody's coming.
Yeah, so we're good. And the reason we have to end early is because Jill put something on my honey-do list.
I don't have a honey-do list. I don't.
That requires me to write and her to also compose music.
Well, I don't know if I still have time to do that, but we'll see. We'll see if the song I have composed, we'll see if it goes with
me to write
with your writing.
We're against the deadline.
See, we're a team.
Yes, we are a team.
That is not a honey-do list. You know why? Because we're even doing this show because you asked. Well, you had to ask me several times before I even agreed to do I'm Right.
It's got nothing to do with a honey-do list.
It's the same concept.
No,
you asked me to.
Not he.
Well, this is a lot bigger because it's every week. What I asked you to do is a one-time thing.
We're talking about a honey-do list for me.
But I didn't give you a honey-do list
to me,
unless this is a honey-do list. Me even being part of this show.
Other stuff.
I don't know what other stuff you're talking about.
Other stuff. You know other stuff, but it usually involves writing.
Yes, because you're a writer. Writing. I'm a writer. We're a writer. We're a team.
Yeah, but you decide sometimes, not all the time, that I should write something for someone or some organization.
Oh, I don't.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yeah, don't. Yeah, she does.
Just I asked you one time.
She does.
Which is what I just asked about. She does. Charlie says this is date night for us. I want a better date.
We go on date nights. We go to the theater.
We do. In fact, we're going to the theater on Friday.
Yes, we are, and we went to the theater probably a month and a half ago.
Just a month.
So a month. Yeah. So we get out. We get out. We do stuff. We got date night and stuff. we do that.
All right, it's time to wrap up the show.
Okay, we are. I cannot believe this. I can't believe that we're wrapping up the show. This is just a trip.
I don't understand.
Early show, so I will start.
I'm right. It was 30 minutes for 4 years. It should not be. It should be like it's a surprise when it's an hour.
That's when we were just a podcast. We could keep that on schedule.
We can keep this on schedule clearly.
It was
if I really put on my producer hat, all of our shows would be 30 minutes.
Yes, but we love our audience and we love to hear what they have to say.
We gave them an opportunity to speak and no one wanted to.
It matters. Their opinion matters. And it does matter. But some people come into our show a little later and then they really add something to the show.
Agreed.
So anyway, but that's it for tonight. We're getting out in 32 minutes, which is, I guess, kind of cool because we got other stuff to do tonight. And as usual, we love you all. We do. Really
love you all.
That is not something I just say just to be saying it. I love you all. I'm connected to all of you. I feel you all. So this is how I do it, and this is how we need to do it. All of us need to learn to love each other. So till next time, I am going to turn off the video, and video
we love you all,
is
everyone.
Gone. Yes, good for getting that in, Jill. You can still hear the audio, but in a moment, if the show works, we will be out. So we'll see you